Welcome back. It's been a few days since I last played my rapid games on chess.com. I played 2 on my birthday and I won both of them. One of them I got lucky and my opponent made some mistakes when they got into time trouble, even though I had been trailing for the entire game. But anyway, it's time to play my next one. I'm going to switch over to that gameplay screen now, and I'm aware that I've had a pretty good streak here. Ever since my rapid rating dropped into the 1100s, I've been winning and or drawing quite a few of my games in a row. So I know that statistically there's a low chance of me winning this one, but I feel like I've been practicing and working at this maybe more than my average opponent might have. So I have a little bit of confidence going into the game. Regardless, I am going to do my best. I will try to talk through my thought processes as I go. If you're new here, I'm not a titled player or a chess coach. I'm just a random middle-aged person trying to get better at chess, and occasionally I have to play a rated rapid game to see if I can do anything with my score here. We're going to play the Caro-Kann defense, which tries to exert some control over the center. Usually they take there, and that's what happened. I think I'd like to put this bishop out there, but I don't know if I should try to trade it off now, or can I just block with the knight? I think I'll put the bishop there, and then we will trade that way. Okay, that pawn's protected. Let's go ahead and aim for their pawn, maybe. We will protect our D pawn this way and get out our dark squared bishop someplace where, or they're trying to go for the fork here. I think I can solve that just by moving the rook over, can't I? Because that pawn's protected. Yeah, I think I can just go there, and they can't fork me here because I have the bishop. So I think I'm okay with that scenario. And now they've attacked my queen. Okay. I think we can just take that, can't we? If I take that and they take, this person is playing with a lot of confidence here. If I take that and they take, then I'll need to move my knight someplace. So I guess I would put it in there, but then they would attack it with the pawn, but then I could bring it back here. That's what we're going to have to do, I guess. That pawn's now unprotected, so I'm going to have to lose it, is what's going to happen here. Oh, I finally gave them something to think about. They were trying to decide which of those pieces to take with. Okay. Well, that's going to be the way that happens, I guess. Then I can get this out of here. No, they're aiming for my rook now. Well, should I get my rook out of danger then? I guess I have to. Where though? Here? No, because then they come in this way. Here. Then they can attack it with the pawn. I guess go back where it was, and we'll see what happens. Kind of saw that coming, didn't we? And now my queen is in the spot where I would normally retreat the knight to, so it looks like I'm going to have to go here. Or could I just take the knight? And then they'll take mine and I'll mess up my pawn structure. Oh, you know, what else is there? They can't move the knight out right now, so they're going to have to protect it, looks like. Or come after mine. So it looks like they played really quickly at the beginning with a trap in mind. At least it felt like a trap. But I must have played it well enough or unusually enough that my opponent slowed down a little bit here. Yeah, they went after that pawn. I kind of guessed that they would. I mean, my knight. I mean, if I go here, they can attack it again, I guess. But then that will let me take their knight. I think. Because they still can't get theirs out. They might try this. And if so, I'm going to take their knight. And if they take mine, that will help me develop my dark squared bishop. Because I'm still behind on development and I'm a pawn down. If I have any advantage at all right now, it is that I have 2 center pawns. But that's a very tenuous advantage at this point. So I have a feeling that I'm down, that I kind of fell into the opponent's trap, but played just well enough to not lose immediately, maybe. I didn't end up getting forked or losing my queen as my opponent had apparently hoped. But what they did succeed in was quick development and keeping me on my toes. Now they are taking their time. So let's see what they play. I don't know if they're going to try to do something here or if they're going to try to protect their knight. They're not going to try to protect my knight. They're going to give up their knight and then help me develop this. Okay, now they wanted to pin it, but that's fine because I'm going to go here, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go here. If they take, I'll take. Okay, and then take this way. Okay, and now I'm not a pawn behind. Now I'm a pawn ahead. I mean, now we're even, I think, but we're down to the heavy pieces. That can make for a drawish endgame, I guess, especially if my opponent wants to force some trades or encourage trades. Not sure what that's doing. What is that doing? Are they trying to castle this way? Because they can't castle over there. Okay. Well, I'm going to castle so that my other rook is in the game. I can load up over here. Maybe I should go ahead and put this rook here now to prevent that pawn from moving forward. It would be protected by my queen. Their queen would have to go somewhere, but I'm not sure exactly where it would go. Okay, I am going to do that. That's going to ask their queen to go somewhere. And then I think I can maybe load this up right here and come for that pawn. Another thing I'm thinking about is possibly sliding my queen forward one so that I'll get that pawn before this one. Because this one involves taking my queen. I mean, giving up my queen for theirs, but I would get a pawn out of it. But over here, I would get a pawn without doing the queen trade. But maybe I want to do a queen trade. A lot of players in my rating range, including me sometimes, are not very good at playing with their queens. I mean, without their queens. Although I think I do better in situations where my opponent and I have done an equal queen trade than my average opponent does. Okay, and now my opponent has slowed down a lot and I have a very slight time advantage. So let's see what they do. It looks like they may be just trying to keep going with these pawns. And if so, we'll just have to meet that challenge as it arrives. But if they push their F pawn any further, that E pawn is going to become weak. That's the last pawn that can defend the E pawn. And so then I might have some sort of recourse, to get it some way or another. Maybe here. That's if they move the F pawn. Actually, I might want to trade off the queens there. That might actually be to my advantage. Okay, I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's trade off the queens right here, and then my rook will end up there and their king will be forced to move. Let's do that, I think. Or they might just move the king first, in which case I would take their queen. Okay, I'm I'm making them think now like they made me think there at the beginning, so I think I've gained back some of this time advantage, or they're toying with me, who knows. Maybe they're having a conversation unrelated to chess right now and they can't help it. That happens. If you're playing on your phone, somebody comes up to you and asks you a question, you have to look away and answer them, and then you lose track of the game. So I understand that that happens to my opponents as well. In the past, when I played all my rapid games on my tablet out on the front porch, I did it at night thinking I wouldn't get any interruptions then, but I did get some interruptions then. Okay, I have some choices. One of them is I can bring this rook in here, but I don't know if I want to do that. I think I want to take a rook back over there and aim for that pawn again and keep that... Okay, they've come to protect it. Then I will come here. I can check. I can hit this pawn. And I can start bringing this one maybe, although they might load up with another rook on that open file, in which case I'll have to make a hidey hole for my king because I can't protect this pawn immediately. That was the downside of this rook move I just made, is I've cleared my back rank. And my opponent might see that and come for it. We don't know. I assume they were looking at that right now. Okay, so I want to check, I think. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and make this hole for my king and then worry about, yeah, they came for that pawn pretty quick. I figured that they would, and there's nothing I can do about that, but I can check, and they can't come toward my rook because of my other rook. And then I can check here, and then maybe, actually, you know what? I can protect that pawn, but I don't want to. I'm going to go for this check here. I assume they're going to take that pawn. If they do, I'll take theirs. If they protect their pawn, oh, they did. Okay, then I'm going to check, see where they go. They went down there, so I need to double my rooks on this file. And then if they check me, obviously, I'm going to do the only legal move that I can. I'm not counting my rook coming back. Okay, they're going to come for this pawn. I can protect that pawn. You know what? Why not? Let's protect that pawn. And then I don't think they can protect that one. They could move it now. They didn't. They're going for a passed pawn. So let's take care of that pawn. They're going to keep going. Let's check them. They went there, as I assumed that they would. I can do this now. Is that what I need to do, or should I take off another one of their pawns? You know what? I think I'll have to get that one later and let my king take these. No. Yes, that's what I have to do. I am up one pawn right now, but theirs is passed. I have a passed pawn as well, and it is protected, but I can't advance it any further at this time. They brought that rook back. Okay, well, then, wow, that was a smart move, I think. They're going to get that pawn down, and there's nothing I can do about it because they're going to end up with a rook behind it. Do I have to go for a perpetual? Is that what we have to do? Oh, it's too bad that rook's not protected. You know what? I could set up for a mate here. Yeah, they saw that, didn't they? Okay. Well, then let's go back there. I don't know what I can do about that other than to start checking them. Is there no way for me to get that pawn? Wait. I had mate. It took me a second. Oh my goodness, it took me a second. Oh, I won that one. Okay. Yeah, that took a second too for that to sink in because I was kind of expecting to lose it or at most force a repetition. I thought I was lost when I realized that if I took the pawn, they would get my rook, and if I took the rook, they would take mine and still have a rook behind that pawn. But they made a mistake in moving that pawn. I'm going to guess that it was drawn before that or my opponent had an advantage. Let's run the game review really quickly. Well, according to that graph, I was way off. Incredibly mistaken about the situation at the end. Apparently, I've been ahead since way back here. My opponent got really close again a couple of times. Again, the number pops up right where why can't the number pop up so I can still see the graph? Can the number not pop up off to the side someplace? Who would design a thing that you can hover over it to see a number, but then you can't see the graph anymore? Oh, there for a second, it moved to the side. Okay, that one was helpful. Yeah, they got really close, but the whole last section, I was ahead. Did I miss mates? There's no misses listed. Well, it said I played like a 1400, my opponent played like a 1200, which is what I would have expected both of us to play like, but it says I played a little better than that. But I did have 1, 2, 3 mistakes. Oh, I had a brilliant move. Really? Well, we got to check. Oh, I had 3 great moves? I thought, oh, wow. Okay, so let's go back and look at this trap. Our last book move was here. Okay, well, I didn't know that. I'm going to switch to the analysis tab. And here I was supposed to block with the bishop or, okay, it says it wouldn't have mattered much whether I blocked with the bishop or the knight. Okay, I just remember in this or similar situations, when they check with that bishop and my bishop is still here, that I was going to trade this bishop off anyway, so I might as well do it now, I think was the thinking. Because if they hadn't have checked, I might have mentioned during the game, my plan was to go pin this knight and then get this knight out and come for that pawn, because that knight is defending this pawn, and if I take it and their queen ends up here, then that knight's not defending this pawn anymore. But I hadn't had a chance to do that yet. And in other situations, like if the knight's not there, you often develop this bishop to f5, I should say, and then that light squared bishop comes out here sometimes and you trade for it, because that's the point of this bishop, is to trade it off for either that knight or that bishop in the Caro-Kann defense, unlike the French defense where this bishop stays back here. So anyway, I blocked with the bishop because that's what I had been told, because that's the whole point of this bishop, is to trade for that. And they're not supposed to take it, according to their top 3 moves here. They're supposed to bring it back here where it's a nice strong piece, you know, controlling some open diagonals here because they have this pawn on the dark square. Or they can come all the way back in front of the king in case I decide to take my bishop out there and try to pin that knight again. Or they can protect that bishop, or their 3 best moves. But that wasn't horrible. And there's a negligible difference as to whether I take with the queen or the knight. I thought the idea here was to take with the queen because I end up putting my knight here, again going for their d pawn, but it said it was about the same either way. Now they are supposed to get their other knight out here now, but instead, what they did was get their other knight out here, but they were supposed to go ahead and put this one in here and immediately attack my queen, or just play c3, but instead they did that. It says it's excellent, and we're still very close to even. And now that my light squared bishop's gone, I should have played e6, but it's just as good to play knight to c6 or queen to c7, because it knows that this knight can come in here. So I might as well move that over. But instead I played this. They played one of their better moves, because again, they're setting up for this. Am I supposed to play a6 now to prevent that knight coming? No, I'm supposed to play e6. Okay, that's what I did, right? Okay, yeah, because once the light squared bishop's gone, e6 is best, but they think they have something here. The computer doesn't seem to agree. It says that was just good, but again, the evaluation is still very close to 0. Oh, I could have just checked here, but wait, if I had checked here, they would have blocked with the pawn, right? But then I would have gone back and I would have been protecting this square. But then they could have played b5, right? I mean b4, and it says that they would, but then I would drop back 1 with so my dark squared bishop would do all that just so I wouldn't have to move my rook. No, but rook to c8 is my best move. Okay. Well, I'm glad that I found that, and as I thought about it during the game, I thought that must be what I have to do. But now for the last 3 or 4 turns, Stockfish has been saying my opponent needs to put that knight on e5, but they didn't. But now it doesn't say that. It says they should castle or shoot a4 up here, or just a3. I don't know why just a3. What would a3 do? a4 would not only defend this knight, but it would really start maybe a queenside avalanche, but a3 I don't know. But those are the 3 best moves. But now they played e5. After all those times that they were supposed to, and now it's a mistake because I can take it. Okay, that was a great move according to this list. And I thought here that they were going to take. Oh wow, and I was going to make a mistake. because I had this. If they took, I was supposed to just take their knight. But I had already said, I think, if they took, then I was going to move this knight up here. But they didn't. They took this pawn, thinking everything was fine. Oh, and I'm supposed to just put this knight back now that that bishop's not aiming at anything. Put this knight on g6, immediately threatening the bishop. Wait, but then they would take my rook. Wait, yeah, they would take my rook. And then I would take their bishop, and I guess be threatening that, so they would come up here with their queen. And I would take on g2 anyway? No, I wouldn't have. Come on. Okay, well, I'm glad I did not play that, because it looks like one of those lines that I would have to play precisely for several moves in a row, go down a significant amount of material for something that I haven't yet got to in this line, right? If I play here, they take my rook. They're up 5 points of material. So I take their bishop. Then they're only up 2 points of material. They put their queen here. I take that. So they're only up 1 point of material. But then they take it. So now they're up 4 points of material again. But then I would take their knight. Then they would only be up 1 point of material. Then they would castle long, and I would play g6, and I would have gone down 1 point of material after all that. I would have given up a knight and a rook for a knight, a bishop, and a pawn, or something like that. Wow, yeah, okay, so I'm glad I didn't play that. Okay, but it says I should have played knight to f3 check as my second best move. What? That's my second best move. And then they would take it, and then I would play rook to a8. But playing rook to a8 now was inaccurate. Okay, so they're going to take that knight, and they did. And now am I supposed to take this one? No, now I'm supposed to go here. Wait, that was great. Okay, a few moves ago, it said if they had taken that pawn, that knight right then, and I took their knight, then, oh, sorry, I forget exactly what the sequence was, but that would have been a mistake a few moves ago when it was being threatened by that pawn. But now it's a great move. That was best, okay. That was best. Oh, I was supposed to just protect it. I didn't think of that. Or I could have played queen to a4. Wait, what does queen to a4 do? That's my second best move. It's not threatening the knight because I'm already threatening the knight. Oh, but I wouldn't be threatening the knight if they took this. Okay. Well, I just went ahead and took it, knowing that if they took this, I could take back. But b4 is their best move. That's what they played. Oh, queen to b5 was good. Okay. I played that kind of thinking I was lost. But that was brilliant. Well, my idea obviously was that if they took either one of whichever way they took, I would take here and I would end up coming out ahead on that deal. But that was brilliant. Well, I didn't realize that it was brilliant. They were supposed to take, I was supposed to take back, but they were not supposed to trade again. That was just good. And that was just good. Rook to a3. Oh, I should have played this now. Okay. I didn't see that until a couple of turns later. I think I saw it right after I castled, but I started thinking about, wait, my queen is pretty, my king is pretty vulnerable here, especially if they were to move a rook over and then try something like this, and I would have to trade, and then they would have a rook down here, and this rook would be locked into protecting that pawn. So you know what? Let's go ahead and castle first. But it says I should have played this now, and they would have dropped back. Oh, and then I would have come over here. I kind of went around that. I did all that backwards. And here I thought they were going to push this at some point, but I didn't think they were going to push it now, but they did. Rook to a3 is my best move. Okay. Oh, and their best move is to take it. What? One of their two best moves is to take it, or just drop back. No, now it says it's better to drop back. All right, Stockfish had to think about that. Yeah, I can't believe it's their second best move to take it. Okay. And then I'm just supposed to put this one over here. See, I did that the long way. I brought this over here, and I was thinking maybe I could move my queen or something and aim for that pawn. Oh, or I could have just checked here now. Wow. Well, I didn't do that. I did this, and that was okay. That was obviously their best move. Oh, and I should have just taken this now. And then I would have had 3 pieces aimed right here. That was a mistake and gave away almost all my advantage. Of course, they're supposed to take, and I'm supposed to take back. But I thought that was okay for me because I had picked up that extra pawn right at the time of that bishop exchange. So we were even on material again, and I've infiltrated with my rooks, and I'm about to stop these 2 pawns from advancing. So I thought this was okay for me. But it says we're back to very close now. See, I thought we were very close before. All right. They came in, and I'm supposed to play, I'm just supposed to back it up. Or take it all the way back over here. That's my second best move. Well, that is what I played because they have that pawn there. They're supposed to protect it. Is rook to c4 up there? Okay, rook to c4 is one of my 2 best moves. Good. Aiming at that pawn. Stockfish doesn't think it's worth protecting. Wait, that says best? Wait, go back. That's not listed as one of their 3 best. Oh, no, now it is. It wasn't a second ago, but now it's their third best move. Okay. But yeah, they should have brought this rook over here coming after my b pawn immediately. But the game review thought that was best. h5 and h6. Okay, Stockfish was thinking like me. My king's going to need a way out here in a second. Rook h to, wait, that's rook h to f1, or rook h to c1, or rook a to b1. A second ago, it wanted to bring the h rook over here, and that's what they played, but now it's inaccurate. Rook to d4 was not my best move. It was my third best move. I should have played rook. Oh, I should have put this rook over here. I'm not sure exactly what that would have done. That was a mistake to check. Took us even closer to even. 0.3. They should have gone back behind that pawn. That's what it says. It was inaccurate to move over, and I should have just brought this rook to c3. Oh, I guess aiming for this check? But it says they would have brought this rook up to defend against that. And then I would have played b5, hoping for them to take it, so I could take their c-pawn. I guess. That's me just guessing. Rook. What I played was my second best move, which was here, and they needed to go back. Was their best move. Their second best move was counted as a mistake by the game review, but I think the game review overestimated how bad that was. We're still under -1. I'm supposed to play rook to c4, but I played rook to c3, which was okay, and they're supposed to protect this pawn, but they didn't, which allows me to take that pawn with check, so we're back to -1 now. Oh, almost -1. Minus 0.9. And they were supposed to come forward. Oh, I guess hoping to get out this way, but instead they went back, which allowed that, which was great. Now we're at -1.5. That was one of their better moves. Of course, I only have one good move here. That's a bad move. But the only other legal move was that, which is what I played. Okay, I wondered about this, whether it was good to do this or whether I should check first. And it says it was fine. It's my third best move and not horrible. It's still -2 here. h4 is their best move, and I don't know why. I guess in an attempt to distract me from protecting that pawn, because I would probably take or move up, in which case they could take this pawn. Maybe that's what h4 is for. f5 would be a check immediately, and then if I took, I guess then they would have a check, but then I would block with this, but then they would take the... I don't know. This is almost like it's almost like we're forgetting that the rooks exist, and Stockfish is just saying, hey, you guys have lots of pawns here on the king side, maybe you should play with them. I think my opponent did what I might have done here, which is to see, we have two rooks lined up at this pawn, and it's their only passed pawn. I think what Stockfish is trying to do here maybe is trying to create a passed pawn, possibly, or to break my king out of this cocoon. But my opponent was thinking about, this is their only advantage, material-wise. Like, I have one here. It can just go. And I don't know why I didn't see it until a little bit later, but that brought the evaluation down a little bit, but I think I might have played the same thing in their situation. And I was supposed to check them on g2, but that's counted as inaccurate. And it's one of their better moves to keep moving that pawn. And now, of course, I am supposed to check them again with either rook. Doesn't really matter. And it doesn't really matter which direction their king goes at this point. I'm supposed to check them on f2 with either rook, but probably this one. I'm not sure why that one's slightly better. It says they would play king to e1, which would be their only legal move. And then I would take f4? What? That's what that says. That first line. And they would take back with their pawn. Well, of course they would. And I would still be ahead. Oh, because then I would check with my rook down here and win their rook and get behind their pawn. Oh my goodness. That's why Stockfish wanted me to check here, is so I could take this pawn, because their king would be over there, and when they took back, I would check them and win their other rook and this passed pawn. Oh my goodness. I see it, but that's, even if I had checked here, which I didn't, I would not have then done that. You might have, because you're better at chess than I am. And now you are, if you're young enough to remember that whole line and you ever get in this exact situation some point. But I did see the passed pawn, and I thought that was the way to get behind it. It was not the way to get behind it. They should have taken my rook immediately, but they didn't. They went back there. So I should have checked them again. Oh, I did. Okay. And then this time, and now, wait, is it going to say I should have taken this pawn now? No, because now these two rooks are protecting each other, so now that tactic wouldn't work. But I played one of my two best moves. Oh, and this time it's much worse if they go to d1 than if they go to e1. I mean f1. -3 versus -8. They chose the one that's -8. So that's not good. That's a blunder. Now it's -9. It's only -9 if I play that. Oh, and then I would play the other rook over here looking for mate. But they would probably find some way around that. Anyway, I just did that though, thinking, well, you know, I have a mate, but they had to play king to e1 in that situation, so that's what they did. it still wants me to, oh no, it said rook to h2 for a second, but now it's saying it doesn't really matter. You can check again, or go to c2, or go to h2. I did that again. But that's not a mistake. That's a blunder. Look, -1, 1.6, or -3 even, from the very low-depth game review, to mate in 1, that's not a mistake. That's a blunder, because that left me mate, and I almost didn't find it, but I did. I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't have gone through every single move of that game, but some of that was really interesting to me. If you stuck with me this far, thank you so much. I hope you got something out of that. Every time I win one of these, that makes me more nervous and less likely to play the next one, because I know I'm going to lose at some point, and how many in a row have I won? I don't know. I'm going to my stats page. You can see that. Good. Rapid is here. Let's click on that. That's a pretty good little streak there. Does it list my games? Oh no, I lost one. Okay. I lost one a few games ago where I played with 48%. Yeah, that's my 1359. There's my peak, and then I came down slowly. Now I'm slowly coming back up, but if you go back and just look at 90 days, it looks like I'm on a steady kind of rise. But yeah, I did lose one here. Okay, that makes me feel better, but I've still won quite a few in a row. Those are all wins or draws across there until here. Well, stick with me. We'll see you next time.